everybody. We're back. I'm Amy. I'm a psychotherapist with 35 years of experience. I've had MS for the past 30 of those years. And I'm here with my friend Buck, who I've known since I was in seventh grade. I think I knew you when I was in seventh grade. I don't think you knew me until I was a freshman.
Yeah,
But I knew who you were
that's
in junior high.
until
So,
we did theater. I mean, I knew your sister better. So,
yeah,
yeah.
I'm sure that's true.
I'm Buck. I have been in therapy and under psychiatric care since I was fourth grade, and in and out of therapy and psychiatrists. And so, and today I'm going to talk about my new psychiatrist, which is great, my
Hey.
new program. And we start off with what a dysfunctional week we had. One
Yeah.
moment of dysfunction, so we can kind of laugh at it. So, Amy, what was your dysfunction?
I'm here in Missouri. Obviously, you can see it's a different background, and I'm visiting my mom while my house is being renovated. And the other day, my brother was here because he doesn't live too far, and we were sitting up in the morning because we both get up at like 5, and so it was 5:30. We're sitting talking in the living room, and all of a sudden I think I hear a knock on the door, and I went, no, it can't be a knock. I must have been like, who knows, a car outside, whatever. And so we're sitting there a little bit, and then the doorbell rings, and we're like, "Who the heck is here at 5:30 in the morning?" And my brother went and answered it because since I have MS, it's hard for me to get there
Right.
fast enough. So he got up and answered it, and these paramedics were out there, and they said somebody's device went off, somebody pulled the cord, somebody needs help in this building, and we were like, "Not here, we're all okay," And we knew that like nobody had called. They're supposed to call if that happens, if they get a notification. They're supposed to call to make sure. Nobody had called. We knew the phone was on because we'd heard her getting text messages. So, but then Paul was like, well, maybe something's wrong with mom because she wasn't up yet. So he started to head back to her bedroom, and we hear from back there. It's down a little hallway. She goes, "I'm okay." So we were like, "She's fine." So we didn't know what was going on. So they left and they were going to go check the other, apartments like this one to make sure it didn't come from somebody else. And then about an hour later, here comes some nurses from the main building. My mom lives in a retirement home, but she has like what they call the villas, which is really like a duplex. So
Mm-hmm.
it's separate from there's a main building with assisted living and independent living apartments, but her building is separate. So if something happens, they actually have to come over, across the parking lot to the villa. So they're over here, and we're like, no, there's nothing going on. So it turns out that the pull cord in the bathroom, the guest bathroom that I was using, is like super sensitive, and you really just barely touch the thing and it goes off. So I was working really hard to not touch it, and it still was going off sometimes. So that was a dysfunction here at this villa. So yeah, but we were all okay, so that was good. So
Well,
what was
my
your?
dysfunction is so we have universal insurance here, but the deal is if a company has six or more employees, they have to offer, or you have to do private insurance too. So because I have been living with my ex, I have to go back on his insurance. And the thing about this insurance is it's like US insurance, like there's a deductible.
Yeah.
So, but they offer different services, like you can get like $400 worth of massages, and this I can
Nice.
get $400 of therapy.
Good.
So when I was at, and I'm going to talk about this, when I was at the psychiatrist, they said, "So you want therapy?" And I said, "Yes, of course." And they said, "But you have private insurance." And I said, "Yes, I know, but it's not really mine." And they said, "Well, if you have that, then you can't get on a list for a therapist through them."
Right.
So I just found out that I can get $400 worth of therapy, which is not going to be enough dollars.
No.
And it's not going
No.
to be enough therapy. You want continual therapy. So I have to wait to see what they say and if I can just go right to provincial health care for that. Or
Absolutely.
if I have to find a therapist because there are therapists who are just for insurance, like
Mm-hmm.
private insurance
Mm-hmm.
and cash, right? And then you have provincial where you don't have to pay at all.
Right.
So I'm kind of stuck in between, and I really do need a therapist. But
Yeah.
anyway, that's my dysfunction. It's just I don't understand why these companies that with 6 or more employees have to have
Oh,
when
yeah.
you have provincial insurance. I know they're trying to take the burden off the province for the
Yeah,
insurance, but
but still
it's going back to the U.S. insurance, which is it's
terrible.
not it's not good. And there's a deductible for the pharmaceutical, so the
Yeah,
deductible here is $400 every 6 months. That means you have to pay $400 up front. I mean,
right,
you don't pay it all at once, but you have to buy
right.
$400 worth of drugs for then the rest of it to kick in to be free. And
Yeah,
it was easier with provincial because it turned out to be like $100 a month that you paid
yeah.
of your own.
If you
And
could do
my drugs and your drugs are astronomical.
exorbitant. Yeah,
My HIV drugs are incredibly expensive. So not
yeah.
as expensive as yours, but they're still, it's over
There,
$1,000.
yeah. Oh, that's
So,
incredibly expensive. Yeah,
so if I got my Biktarvy, which I take for HIV, I have to pay
hmm
$300 right away. So it's like
yeah.
I don't have $300. So what do you
Right.
do? So I've been like taking them not regularly. So
That's not
but,
good, but
yeah, that's not good. But in actuality, I've been doing that for a while. I don't take it all the
yeah,
time because they are toxic, and I don't
yeah. That's true.
recommend this for anyone to do. But
Right.
my
Long term.
levels, it's still undetectable.
Good. Yeah. So you want to keep up whatever treatment
Yeah.
is working
So
for you.
so it's
Yeah.
undetectable. So it doesn't really hurt me. It's like once it's
Right.
in your system, it's in your system, and you just kind of have to keep feeding it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I as my own choice, do not take it every single day.
No, that's all right. If you
Yeah.
know that you're taking it at a dose
Yeah.
that's therapeutic
Well,
for
I get
you,
checked. Yeah, I get
that
checked
matters.
regularly. So, and
Yeah.
my other dysfunction is I needed a blood test to see because I need to see how because these new drugs affect my liver. So I
Yeah.
can't get an appointment till January 23rd, and they wanted
That's nuts.
one next week. So
Yeah.
it's like I don't know. Anyway,
You
I
know,
don't.
and you would think it would be better in the United States because we don't have big boy and girl, socialized medicine. But I needed an appointment with my neurologist, and fortunately, he got me in because he had a cancellation. But if he wouldn't have had that cancellation, his next appointment would have been like February.
Yeah,
So it's no better here.
I know. I know
You know,
it's no better, but
it's no better.
I don't know. You used to be
Right
able
there, it's
here.
free.
Here,
Yeah,
you used to be able to just walk in with the prescription for what
yeah,
blood, uh, things needed to be
yeah.
examined, like your HIV, and if it was your liver,
Right,
and if it was something else, they would, looking for cancer, then that would be on the prescription, and you would just walk in and give it to them and wait.
and they would do it. Yeah,
But
yeah.
now you have to have an appointment, and it's like I don't know. They have a problem here. Well, I don't want to go into all that, but they have a problem
Right.
here with general practitioners because I mean, I'm kind of lucky that I have HIV because then I get an HIV doctor. But
Right.
people who are in good health that just want a general practitioner, a lot of
It's
them are
hard to get them.
leaving and going to Ontario or the US. Some of them are retiring early. There's a new legislative bill that went through their parliament to
Hmm
um, where they have to pay into something. I don't really understand what it is. And so a lot of them are just quitting. So it's made it
Yeah.
even worse. So in a way, I'm lucky that I have HIV. But what I wanted to talk about today was I did get to go to a psychiatrist. I met with the
Yay.
resident and I met with the supervisor. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I've been waiting and waiting and
Yay. Forever. Forever.
a year, a little more than a year. Well, a little less than a year. So,
But still.
and I got new medication, and one of the medications for the mood stabilizers, it's a new one, and it doesn't make you fat. It doesn't make you gain
Which is
weight.
a good thing. Yeah. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Hmm
'Cause I gained like 40 pounds,
Yeah.
I don't
Those
like,
drugs are notorious for that. Yeah.
yeah. So I've been going to the gym and I got my new medication. And then I got, so that's a mood stabilizer. And then I got an anti-anxiety to,
Good.
that's kind of like clonazepam, but it's not a benzo. And I take that twice a day.
Good.
So I don't really
Uh,
know what
no.
it's pre, what is it? Oh my God. Oh, Sorry, wrong one.
That's right.
Pregabalin. Pregabalin.
Mm,
So that's the one I take twice a day to alleviate anxiety. And it was a
yeah.
really good session. It was
Good.
2 hours. Two
Oh,
hours.
they are thorough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2 hours. And then, so an hour and a half with the resident. Then I went and met with his
The
supervisor.
attending. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the attending. And it was really, really great. And I go back in 2 weeks. Um, I
Good.
was very honest with all the questions, and I revealed things that I don't really reveal to just any stranger, or
Right.
anybody I know. I told them things. They talked a lot. We talked a lot about the OCD.
Hmm.
So, and he said, well, you still have that. And I said, he
Yeah.
goes, it doesn't go away. And I said,
No,
yeah, I
you
know
just
it.
manage it.
Well,
Yeah.
I catch myself like, it's just silly things like, the corner of the blanket on the bed is lower than the other corner. So you need to
Yeah. And
pull
that
it
would
up.
drive you.
Yeah. You need to pull it up and make it even. It's just like, you know, it's ridiculous. The napkins, like setting the table for dinner,
Yeah.
the napkins and the silverware have to match. Mine have to match Mario's kind of, and I just have to stop and not do it. I have
Yeah.
to just say,
Absolutely.
nothing bad is
Yeah.
going to happen, because the first
Right.
impulse and what happened when I was in fourth grade is that something bad is going to happen if you don't touch the
Right.
wall so many times, or you don't
Yeah.
say enough
And
prayer.
you can't prove that it's working, but if something bad happens, then you can say, "Oh, it's because I didn't."
Right,
But
right,
so you can say, "Oh, it's I, things are good because I did that." But if something bad happens, then you have to like give yourself a good cognitive distortion
right.
of like why it really happened, and it has nothing to do with you. It's just life. Yeah.
Yeah,
My version of, I mean, OCD is an anxiety disorder, 100%. It's a way to avoid feeling anxious. And the other way that I don't, what I do is I tend to procrastinate and put things off. And the problem with that is the longer that you put things off and the more you put things off, the harder it is to do it and the more anxious it becomes when you finally get to it. So they're coping mechanisms that just don't, they're not really coping medicine, they're avoidance.
yeah,
They don't work.
yeah. I'm like that too. I put things off, and then I feel better when they're done, but the
Yeah,
anticipation of it, like what could go wrong, is what
of
keeps
course.
me from doing what I need to do. Yeah.
Right.
So, and then I got the diagnosis of being bipolar. He said it's somewhere between 1 and 2.
Yeah,
Because you
yeah,
have a little bit of both, and the mania and stuff like that. It's the first time ever, in any of my psychiatric care, that they talked about mania. And I
yeah.
do get very
Good.
manic. I get manic. I
Yeah.
told them the story of how
Yep.
I had to build the sets for an opera that I did, a Copeland opera, and I built this. I made the set so that it could be taken apart. It just bolted together, but it could be, you know, the next time it could
Moved
be
around.
like that, you know,
Yeah.
and or it could
You can have
be
different
like that,
configurations without having to
different
have extra
configurations.
slats.
So, and it
Yeah.
actually worked, because the next one we did was the Mall in the Night Visitors, and it actually
Oh
worked.
yeah.
So
Good.
it's a series of flats and stuff. But in my mind, and I would have rehearsal, then I would stay and work at the theater till about 1 in the morning, building stuff, and
Yeah.
then I'd go home and
You
you
couldn't
know,
sleep.
I couldn't sleep, because in my mind I'm actually seeing like the flats coming together,
Yeah.
bending, the roof,
Right.
like all of that stuff, and it's like you know um, architects have CAD, which is a computer
Yeah.
program for them to draw and design and stuff like that. So it was like a live CAD in my head with these
Hmm.
flats moving and stuff, and I couldn't stop it. And I was
Right.
manic. I was manic. I've been manic when I wrote a letter, an email to my partner in the opera world, and
Yeah.
uh, ended up writing like 8 to 10 pages of
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
But I was I had been doing the business plan so that we could be a nonprofit, registered nonprofit charity
Hmm.
with the CRA, Canadian Revenue Agency. So I had to do all of the work because the lawyer didn't
Yeah.
do it. So I did all the
Oh,
work to present a business plan and how we would do free education and all of this other
yeah.
stuff, for schools and all of this other stuff that would benefit the community kind of thing and our
Yeah.
history and stuff. And I had been working on it for like 3 weeks, and all
Yeah.
of it just came together. And I couldn't, I was all upset about it because I wasn't getting much input from my opera partner. So I wrote him this really long, and I was having trouble with my husband. And so everything just, amassed. And I remember Mario getting up because this went into the early morning, and he was like, "What are you doing?" And I
Yeah.
said, I have to finish this. I have to finish this, and that's mania.
Yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
that's the
Yeah.
most extreme mania I think that
Yeah.
I ever did. And when my friend read it, he was like, "What is that?" He goes, "It's not an email. It's like a manifesto."
Yeah.
And I was like, "I don't know. I just had to get it all
Yeah.
out." I mean, I got it all out, and when I did it, when I got it all out, I went to sleep.
Yeah.
I
So,
went to sleep, so
yeah,
I got it all out. So
that helped. That's
so, and
helpful.
then
Hi.
we talked about the low lows, how I feel when I'm
Yeah.
going down and when I go really deep, and I said on here that the thing that soothes me, believe it or not, is to watch Law and Order, something very
Yeah.
formulaic,
Something.
like a
Right.
sitcom
You know
about,
exactly what's going to happen. Yeah.
right, right, like Friends. There's a plot, there's
Right.
a subplot,
You
there's
don't have to
silliness,
follow it too
right? You don't
closely.
have to
Yeah.
follow it, and you know it.
Right.
And I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen them all, so it just plays over and over, and it
Yeah.
occupies my mind. So it frees my mind.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah,
No, I think
and
that, like anything that works for you is, it's it's better than drinking or smoking or having sex or doing, whatever. It's a way. It's even if you're kind of addicted to it, it's what we call a soft addiction, which is an addiction that's not going to harm you. You
right,
know, like being addicted to like what like making a smoothie every day or something, whatever.
right,
It's just a soft addiction that helps you.
right.
That's more of a coping mechanism than the other things that are more destructive.
Yeah,
So
or
there's nothing wrong with that. Hmm.
going to Goodwill.
Yeah, I do that. That's my therapy. Yeah,
That's
no,
your
I haven't been
therapy.
doing that so much, but I do still like to do that.
Yeah. Did it snow there?
It did not snow here. I'm in
Oh, in
Jefferson City,
Missouri.
so it didn't snow here, but I know it snowed up north. Yeah,
Yeah,
my friend Patty lives in Island Lake, which is a very very north suburb of Chicago, and they got like 6 inches, or not. I don't think
yeah,
it was 6 inches. They got a lot, and
yeah.
I know that there's a lot of lake effect snow, and where our house is just right on the edge of where the lake effect snow gets to. So
Oh,
sometimes when
okay.
there's lake effect snow, it does come all the way out by my house, but I don't think it was bad. I think it was mostly flurries.
Oh,
So
okay.
when they were
Okay.
predicting snowmageddon, but it really wasn't that bad. So,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's like it's really warm. It was like cold one day. It was like 22 degrees or something when we got up, and by the afternoon yesterday it was in the 60s, and today
oh,
I think
great.
it's pretty. It's like 50s or something. So
That's
I don't
great.
know. I'm sure we're supposed to have a bad winter, so we'll have to see how it
I don't
works.
know.
What
You never
happens?
know. Yeah,
I
we got
never
about
know.
6 inches. Yeah, we
Yeah,
got about
it
six
was. It's
inches,
not
and
up there.
now it's kind
That's
of
a lot.
rain snow.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's just
Slushy.
really slushy. I went to the gym today. I'm trying to go to the gym
Smart.
more on a regular basis, even though it's messy outside and I have to wear boots and then I have to bring my tennis shoes. And I hate that. I love summer
Yeah,
where you just walk in with shorts and your shoes and
yeah. And no coat, no nothing. Yeah,
this is like your coat, and then you have your backpack, and then you have your hat, and then you put on your backpack, and your hat falls off. So you have to get a
yeah,
routine, and yeah. But it does help to go to the gym. But I have to be in the mood. I have to
yeah.
be stable to be able to go to the gym to not
Right.
walk and then turn right around, which I've done several
Yeah,
times. I've walked almost all the way there and said, "Nope, I can't
I
do it
can't
today.
do it.
I can't do it today." So with this new
Well, at least
medication
walking is
that
a
me
little
home,
exercise.
yeah,
You what? Yeah.
with this new medication and
Hmm.
a real diagnosis,
It makes a huge difference, doesn't it? To know.
yes, I
That,
mean,
because when I got diagnosed, it was, I mean, that's another story too that I could tell, but
yeah,
I,
go ahead.
I, I had these symptoms. I didn't know what it was. And the first thing that I heard, the guy went to an otologist because I was deaf in one ear. And the otologist did a MRI, had me go to an MRI, and he came back and he said, you have multiple lesions in your brain. And I was like, I'm dying of brain lesions. What is that? And then when the neurologist explained it, I got it. But once I knew what it was and that it was not curable, obviously, but treatable, um, then I just felt like, okay, now I have direction. You know, before that,
Yeah,
it's like I'm just trying to figure out what the heck is going on. Am I dying? Am I having delusions? Who knows? I didn't know. So it just does help to have the right diagnosis and a treatment plan and somebody who can help you navigate through whatever is
right,
going on.
right. And
Yeah,
it's also great to have the diagnosis, but also to have a doctor who specializes in it.
it is.
So the
Yeah.
psychiatrist deals with bipolar, and there's a
Yep.
bipolar group also, which I didn't mention. There's a
Oh, that's nice.
bipolar group that meets. So
That's
they asked me if I wanted to be a part of that, and I said yes. And they said, "Well,
sure.
but is it free?" And they said, "Yeah, it's free. It's just bipolar people talking to others, so
Yeah.
you don't feel alone. Kind of like AA.
Right.
It's kind of
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
feel alone, that you all have the same problem and you can
Right. Right.
relate to other people. So
Yeah.
that's good, but it's good to have a doctor
Oh,
that's going to
absolutely.
follow you now. Like this is no more evaluations. This is a psychiatrist. This is the one
Yeah.
that I'm
Yeah.
going
The
to have.
one who knows, who
Right,
makes decisions about your meds and all those kind of things and helps you out.
right.
It
Because
really
I've
does
gone
make
from
it.
referral to referred to referred, and now
Yeah.
I have, the
Yeah.
doctor, and he's a resident, but he will be my psychiatrist, and he talks
Good.
to the attending psychiatrist.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's comforting to have new
I'm glad.
medication. Yeah, and I hope it works. I mean, I've been through so many different therapies and so many different psychiatric evaluations and
People
diagnoses and
don't.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. I didn't know that he said that manic depressive, which was what I have been diagnosed in the past, he
Yeah.
said is the
That's the
new
same as bipolar.
bipolar is the new manic
Right.
depressive.
That's just what we call it. It's the same thing. We just call it
Right,
bipolar because what they consider it's all depression. It's just a different form of depression. So to say manic depressive is almost like saying mania is a different disease, which it's not. It's the
right,
mania and the depression are part of the depressive cycle in bipolar.
right.
Yeah.
Right. So the mood
So,
stabilizers will keep me from getting really hot, really manic, or
right.
really, really low.
Right.
Supposedly, I hope so. So,
Yeah.
because I've just been afraid of everything. I can't even turn the ringer on my. So we talked about PTSD too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we talked
Good.
about all the incidents, the things that happened to me in Chicago, and
Hmm.
being mugged in New York, and so like I have to turn the ringer off on my phone. I just let it vibrate because
Yeah.
I literally jump. And
Yeah.
when Mario comes in the door in the evening, I jump. I literally
Yeah.
jump,
Right.
and
Because you're hyper vigilant. Yeah.
yeah, and
That's what we
it's
say.
I don't realize I am until I jump.
Right. Until you do. Yeah. Well,
So
everybody does that. Everybody gets startled, but people who have been traumatized or who are used to kind of waiting to hear somebody coming to do something bad to them or whatever, then those things are more intensive for you. The
right,
other part of it is that biologically we are still cavemen in terms of our what we kind of the things that happen in our brains. So when somebody taps you on the shoulder or somebody walks in, there's part of you that doesn't know if it's my partner coming home from work or a saber-toothed hybrid trying to break in to eat
right,
me. You know. So
right,
so that's why when your phone rings when you can't get to it, it like feels like a horrible thing because you just don't know what it could be, and it might
right,
be somebody who's calling to like tell you that you've been eaten by a saber-toothed tiger. So who
right.
knows?
No, no.
Yeah,
I mean, I went through a period last year where I couldn't really even look at my phone. I just turned
right.
it off
Because it
because
was
I
too
was
anxiety
afraid of
provoking.
what emails I would get. I was afraid of what you know. I
Yeah,
just what calls would be. So it's just, I had a collection agency trying to collect on something, and it should have been already done, paid by Medicare.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, finally I gave them the Medicare number, but they just kept calling me. And
Yeah.
I don't answer usually calls that I don't know the number. You
Right.
know, I'll just not, so I'll just not
Yeah.
answer
If
them.
they if
But
they want
I
to
answered.
talk to you for real, they'll leave you a message.
Right,
And if they call and they don't leave a message, then obviously it wasn't
right.
something that I needed to deal with. Yeah.
Yeah. So I gave them my Medicare. I hope that was, I knew who they were. So
Yeah.
I gave them my Medicare and they stopped calling me. But just things like that, like, oh, it's going to be bad news. It's going to be bad news. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
even when, I got an email from my lawyer for this lawsuit, where I will benefit, I
Yeah.
took me a week to like email them back,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
finally I didn't hear from them and I called my lawyer and I was so scared to call him. And,
Because you
it's
just didn't know
ridiculous.
what it was going to
Hey,
be.
how are you? What's going on?
Yeah.
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 I said, I haven't heard from you. He's like a really slow lawyer. So
Yeah.
he said, oh, yeah, I have to get that stuff back to you. I'll get around to it and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, and I have to go down and uh, I have to go to a doctor's appointment. So their doctor, our doctor, I guess, will examine me and see, what the permanent damage is. So, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not in terrible pain, but like there's still pain in my shoulder and my lower back. So, and there's a range of motion issue where I don't have the range of motion that I had.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You
that's
want
something to
to
see. But like that gave me,
anxiety from that.
anxiety. And I'm like, why are
I get
you
it.
anxious about this? This is like a lawsuit that you're going to win because
Right.
it's his fault. He said it was his fault. And the police report, he got a ticket. He had to go to court, for reckless driving. So
Yeah.
there's no reason that I won't win something. So,
Right.
you
Right.
know, it's like, why am I
So, but
afraid
the
of that?
anxiety comes from not knowing. That's it.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
just, and you build up all of this in your head that it's going to be bad, that, they're going to say, oh, you're lying. And blah, yeah. I was sitting in
Yeah.
traffic. He hit me. He T-boned me. Like, how can it be
Yeah.
his fault? So, and he drove
Not at
through
all.
2 lanes of traffic to get to me. So there was a space in the cars that were making a left-hand turn. There was a space between the cars, and he tried to get in between them and hit me. So
That's a problem.
I know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Left
So,
turns.
yeah. So, but in my mind, I built it up to something that it was just going to be horrible,
It's
and I
going to
didn't
be
want it.
horrible.
And
Yeah.
then, so when my phone
Yeah. And
rings, like, no,
almost never that's the case. But I don't have anxiety disorder. You know, people have like what we call subclinical. So, you can have like symptoms of ADHD but not quite have it all. So that would be subclinical ADHD or subclinical anxiety. And I know that my family tends to run anxious, and anxiety is very hereditary. Um, and bipolar is too, by the way. If you have one
yeah,
parent who has bipolar, your chances are 50%. If you have two parents who are bipolar, your chances are 75% of having it because
yeah.
it's very genetic. So,
Well, I know my mother was. I mean,
yeah.
when I look back at how she had, but my father, he asked me about my father, and I said my father either yelled or slept. He slept a lot, so he would
Yeah. Well, he
sleep.
might have just been straight depression,
Yeah, that's what I said. I
my
said I think
guess.
he was really depressed. And he said,
Yeah.
and his mother slept a lot. His siblings sleep all the time. So
Yeah.
my mother used to make fun of him for sleeping so much. But I don't think he had anything really to look forward to. I mean, he
Right.
just went to work. He had his routine. He
Yeah.
liked the people at the job, but I don't think he really liked the job. But it
Yeah.
was a secure job. So I think that he had depression. I think my mother was bipolar. And I think
Yeah.
that,
Very
well, he's
likely.
been diagnosed as bipolar. So
Yeah.
I guess that's the complete circle. So I don't know. Um,
Yeah.
so that was our topic this week.
Yeah.
My finally getting a psychiatrist, and now I have one
Hooray.
that will be my only psychiatrist, who will follow me
Yay.
and try to get into therapy, and so we'll see what goes from there. But I feel better knowing that I
I'm
have a
glad.
doctor who will follow me. not being
Yep.
referred, and waiting and
Right.
waiting.
And having to tell your story again, yet again, another
Yeah,
time. Yeah.
but I mean,
Yep.
the appointment with him was an hour and a half.
He
And we
really
thought,
took his time. That's great.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and then with
That's a
the
very thorough
supervisor,
evaluation. Yeah.
yeah, and the attendee was a half hour, and that was
Hmm.
really good. They were very, very nice. It's a great
Good.
facility. It's part of McGill, so
Yeah.
but it's a whole separate hospital grounds. They're old buildings. I wonder what it was
Yeah.
at one time, maybe a nut house or something. But there's all
Good.
these older buildings, and they're all for psychiatric care.
That's great.
Yeah,
Great.
it's a whole center. It's not just
Yeah.
an
So
office.
everything is contained in that. You don't have to
Right.
go outside to get your
I
meds
was
or to
in
get
the
a therapist or any of that.
Yeah, I was in the bipolar part. So
Yeah.
it's a bipolar wing. So, they have all these
Good.
psychiatrists to deal with that. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Yep.
um,
It's a good.
so thanks for watching, and we'll see
Yeah.
you next week
We're
with a
always
new
glad
topic.
to
I'm
be here.
Buck,
And I'm
and
Amy, and we're out. Bye.